تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is worthy of praise. We testify that we are believers of La ilaha illallah, that nothing is worthy of worship except Allah, and therefore we dedicate our lives to Him. He is worthy of worship because He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, As-Salam, Al-Mu'min, Al-Muhaymin. That He is all these names and attributes that show His perfection. We bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect, and therefore everything that He decrees is based off wisdom and knowledge, and anything He forbids us from is based off His mercy and His love and compassion towards us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His blessings and His guidance to the people of Islam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His blessings to the last and final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallu ala Rasulillah. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us to have taqwa, to have piety of Him, to be conscious of Him in all our actions, to remind us that Islam is a religion that encompasses all of our life. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us about taqwa, to make us people of taqwa and mabad. The day is coming. A day is coming and we believe in it. It is a pillar of faith to believe that we will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Quran focuses heavily on the concept of the Day of Judgment, of the next life. It describes in great and vivid detail what happens on that day that is 50,000 years. And the detail of the Quran, the eloquency, the way it portrays the image is so real that it shakes our emotions. It puts fear in our hearts, and it also puts motivation and excitement. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created us with emotions. And out of His mercy and His wisdom, He uses those emotions, He touches upon them, He arouses them because He knows our emotions move us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes that day in vivid detail, and as the Prophet ﷺ does as well. And the Prophet ﷺ describes right before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrects us. He says, يَقْبِضُ اللَّهُ الْأَرْضِ وَيَطْوِي السَّمَاءَ بِيَمِينِهِ ثُمَّ يَقُولُ أَنَا الْمَلِكُ أَيْنَ مُلُوكُ الْأَرْضِ. He says that on the day of judgment, right before we are resurrected, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grip the earth and He will fold the heavens with His right hand in a way that is befitting for His perfection subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then He will say, I am the king. Where are the kings of the earth? Calling them out. So how unfortunate is it to be a king when they are directly addressed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That these kings thought that they can do this and that, and they forgot about the King of Kings subhanahu wa ta'ala. Telling us that if you have any authority, whether it be over a society, or over a country, over an organization, or over your own family, and you have responsibilities, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the King of Kings, so be careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes that day and tells us, أَنْ لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ, to whom does the domain belong? لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَهَّارِ, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one, the overpowering. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كَلَّا إِذَا دُكَّتِ الْأَرْضُ دَكًّا دَكًّا وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمَ. He describes that day as a day when the earth will shake. And we are witnessing this. And His angels, who are His army, will come row after row surrounding the human beings. And then hellfire will be brought in front of us. And the Prophet ﷺ described the hellfire as having 70,000 chains, and each chain is 70,000 angels dragging it, to show how large it is. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in the Quran hellfire, إِذَا رَأَتْهُمْ مِنْ مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ سَمِعُوا لَهَا تَغَيُّضًا وَزَفِيرًا. And when we see the hellfire, or when it sees us, it gets excited. It starts breathing in, inhaling and exhaling, excited, waiting for its portion. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who describes this, the author of the Quran, He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Ar-Ra'uf. He is the most merciful, the benevolent, and the most compassionate. And therefore He does not tell us these things except that it goes back to His mercy. He wants us to succeed. He wants us to be merciful. And therefore the point of these verses isn't to make us afraid, but rather to make us act upon our fear of an undesirable consequence, so that we do good. And always when He describes hellfire, He describes paradise. Whenever He describes the situation of the people of hellfire, He describes the situation of the people of paradise, to remind us where we should be and where we shouldn't be. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the people of paradise saying, يَوْمَ نَحْشُرُ الْمُتَّقِينَ إِلَى الرَّحْمَنِ وَفْدًا. That the day where we resurrect the people of taqwa. And the reward is two. Number one, they go back to Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, telling us that if you are a person of taqwa, that you're going to go back and find forgiveness. You're going to find mercy and love waiting for you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not only that, you will be resurrected wafda, meaning on a mount. You know how today when a business wants to invite someone, or a company or an organization or event invites someone, they send a limousine. We're picking you up, right? That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does for the people of taqwa. But a mount meant for paradise. He will resurrect them with honor, with dignity as kings and queens, befitting to let them know that they are going back to the most merciful and the reward is immense. He describes the people of paradise and says, يَا أَيَّتُهَا النَّفْسُ الْمُطْمَئِنَّةِ ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. O peaceful soul, return to your Lord pleased and with pleasure. And that is the situation of the believer. So my dear brothers and sisters, we need to recognize that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about hellfire, it's meant to be a source of mercy for us so that we don't be amongst them. And then when He talks about paradise, He talks as a source of mercy. Tell us, be like them. And that is the Quran. And that is our Lord, and that is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Quran tells us how to be successful. It tells us to take it seriously. And He shows us the tools that we need. He's given us the tools for success. So He's given us a mind. He's given us senses to perceive. He has sent us messengers and a book, the Quran, to let us know how to reach success and how to be a good person, and how to live this life a healthy and good, to have a good and beautiful life before a even better life in the next life, inshallah. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, one of the ways Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to succeed, one of the attempts, one of the strategies is to let us know that we have an enemy. That is shaitan. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًا إِنَّمَا يَدْعُو حِزْبَهُ لِيَكُونُ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. The shaitan is your enemy, so take him as an enemy. And know that he calls his people, he calls you to be amongst the people of hellfire. So be careful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the strategy of the shaitan. He tells us, this is what he does. This is what he's trying to get you into. And he says, إِنَّمَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالسُّوءِ وَالْفَحْشَاءِ وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He says the strategy of the shaitan. He calls you to su', number one. Number two, fahsha. And number three, وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Number one is su'. And the word su' is the root for the word sayyi'ah, which means sin. But the word su' in the Arabic language means that which is harmful. And therefore, as sayyi'ah, which we translate as sin, what it means is that which is harmful to you. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that doing this is a sayyi'ah, what He's really saying is that doing this, not only is it a sin, but it's something that's harmful to you. Therefore, don't do it. So when we look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, إِنَّمَا الْخَمْرُ وَالْمَيْسِرُ وَالْأَنصَابُ وَالْأَزْلَامُ رِجِسٌ مِّنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. The alcohol, gambling, and a form of superstition called azlam, right? And idols are a punishment from the shaitan. There are ways he tries to punish you with. There are strategies to make you depressed, to make you unhappy. These are some of his strategies. These are sayyi'ats. They are sin. They are harmful to you. And therefore, when we take a topic like alcohol or gambling and we say it's haram, our answer isn't just Allah said it's haram and that's it. That's not our answer. It's more than that. Yes, Allah did say it's haram, but why did He say it's haram? Because alcohol leads to illnesses. It leads to social problems. It leads to death. It leads to this and it leads to that. When a person is drunk, they do things they would never do when they are sober. And therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw that although alcohol might have some benefit to it, its harm is far outweighs its benefit, therefore it's haram. So when Allah says that this is haram, when He's saying this is harmful to you, have mercy on yourself and know that I am Ar-Rahman. I only prescribe things that are merciful towards you. Take it seriously. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the shaitan wants to harm you. And he calls you to certain things. Allah made it clear, and that's what we call haram. So don't fall into his trap and recognize that although sometimes your desire wants to do something, be careful. Let your mind tell your heart that this is harmful for me. Don't go about it. Don't chase after it. And today, unfortunately, our youth struggle a lot. So parents, take this concept. And when you tell your kids that alcohol is haram, dating is haram, this is haram, don't just tell them it's haram, Allah said so and that's it. Tell them why. You don't know why? Research why. Some things are very clear, like alcohol and gambling, while other things take a little bit more time to explain and need a little bit more wisdom, such as dating. But always look, improve your own understanding, your own perception, your own insight of our faith, and then transmit it to your children. And let them see that our religion isn't a religion of just black and white, halal and haram, but a religion of wisdom and mercy. So the shaitan calls us to do that which is harmful for us. And he also calls us to fahsha. And fahsha is an extreme form of indecency. He wants you to be indecent. And this covers much ground. Indecent in your dress. Indecent in your manners. Indecent in your words. Indecent in your engagement with other people. Indecent in your perception of other human beings. Indecent in how you treat your friends. Indecent in how you treat your neighbors. He wants you to be indecent, so don't fall for his trap. And he tells, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us. He says, يَا بَنِي آدَمْ لَا يَفْتِنَنَّكُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ كَمَا أَخْرَجَ أَبَوَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ يَنْزِعُ عَنْهُمَا لِبَاسَهُمَا لِيُرِيَهُمَا سَوْآتِهِمَا. He says, O children of Adam, do not fall for the trick of the shaitan as he tricked your parents. And he got them expelled, exiled from paradise. And his strategy was to expose their private parts. Don't fall for that. There is something about our clothes that gives us dignity. It gives us moral. It gives us purpose and reason. It gives us manners. And there's something about taking off clothes that changes our manners. And this is what Satan saw. He saw this. He recognized that when Adam and Eve don't have clothes on, they act differently. And therefore, one of his biggest strategies is to make a person naked publicly. And the Prophet ﷺ teaches us, فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَحْيِ فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. If you don't have this concept of haya, shyness, timidness, then you're going to do anything you please. But our perception in English, the word timid, right, the word shyness, doesn't give it true justice to what the Prophet ﷺ means. Because being shy of saying the truth isn't praiseworthy. Being shy of engaging other people in a proper way, in a way that's beneficial to them, is not praiseworthy. Being shy of entering a home without being welcomed, that is not praiseworthy. So timidness in Islam is far beyond just being shy and saying, oh, I'm just shy. It's far beyond that. Timidness in Islam is about acting in ways that dignifies a human being. Timidness is acting in ways that dignifies human beings. Dear brothers and sisters, if you can move forward, please. Jazakumullah khair. Tafassahu fil majalis. Yafsahillahu lakum inshaAllah. Make room for one another, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make room for you. So modesty in Islam is important because it affects our spirituality. It affects our engagement with other people. It affects the stability of society. And it affects our engagement, our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So number 2 is decency. The shaitan wants you to be indecent. So be careful. Teach your kids manners. Read Surah An-Nur, the 24th chapter, and read Surah Al-Hujurat, the 48th chapter, I believe. 48th or 49th, I forgot. These 2 chapters, study them and convey the message to your children. Teach them manners. Teach them not to swear. Because swearing is ways of expressing emotion that's improper. That's what it is. Someone who swears is someone who doesn't know how to properly convey what their emotions, or speak or elaborate on their emotions. It's a sign of ignorance. Don't swear. Don't be mean to other people. Be kind, be fair, and be just. Teach your children decency in all of their engagements. It is important. It is crucial to their connection, to our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third one, and this is one of the worst, one of the biggest strategies of the shaitan, one of the most effective, وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Speaking about Islam, about Allah, about halal and haram without knowledge. This is a disaster. And if you study Islamic history, especially during the colonial era, this is what caused this sort of animosity towards the religious structure. Speaking without knowledge. Because when the sheikh, when the imam, when the perceived scholar is perceived as incompetent to his people, not only does that affect a person as an individual, it affects Islam as a whole. You, O scholar, person who has a beard, person who puts themselves in front of the masses and preaches Islam, if you do that without knowledge, and what you say is very illogical, very silly, then know that you hurt the image of Islam. And going to the side of the left, those who just say whatever they want about Islam, everything's halal, Allah is all merciful, just do whatever. Our times are different, we don't need to go back to the Quran and Sunnah. No, it's okay, just do everything's halal. That's okay. Times have changed. That is a disaster. And all you need is to contemplate on the words of Ibn Qayyim, rahmatullah alayhi. He says that the religion is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is His right. To say something is halal, to say something is haram is the right of Allah, Allah alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whoever talks about the religion without knowledge, without going back to the Quran, or without going back to hadith, then they are challenging Allah to His throne. They are challenging Him to what is rightfully His. So be careful. Anyone who speaks about the religion unjustly, unfairly, without knowledge is challenging Allah to what's rightfully His. They're challenging His domain. And don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be silent. And not only is it spiritually detrimental, it harms the future generations. When the youth look at the religious structure, or their parents who is a little bit more religiously engaged, and everything doesn't make sense. Everything just halal, we'll talk about it, haram, right? Especially during the early generation, the first generation of Muslims here in America, before the leadership was developed. The halal and haram was so easily spewed from the mouths of people. Everything's haram. Being an American citizen is haram. Voting is haram. This is haram. It makes people lose trust in the faith, so be careful what you say. And take the advice of scholars that they praise someone. If they don't know, they say, I don't know. If you don't know, say, I don't know. Why don't we ask someone? And know that, my dear brothers and sisters, speaking about the religion is not only, without knowledge, not only a sin, it's a strategy of the shaitan to destroy piety and to destroy the religious structure of a society, and it also harms future generations. So my dear brothers and sisters, learn about Islam. The emphasis on knowledge, the emphasis of knowledge in the Quran and in Hadith is immense. Learn about Islam. Read the books. Go to lectures. Listen to YouTube videos of our prominent scholars And they're on all languages, so you have access to what you need. Spend some time learning. And don't fall into the trick of the shaitan. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we were created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that the only reason He created humans and jinn is so that they worship Him. But alhamdulillah, our perception, our concept of worship in Islam is far beyond just a set of rituals. It is a way of life. And therefore, what worship truly means, when you look at it and research what it means in Islam, worshipping Allah means to have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah created us to have a relationship with Him. And He warns us of what takes us away from Him. And know that the goal of the shaitan, his purpose is to take you to hellfire. To take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he does his best to keep your mind preoccupied. To keep your mind focused on other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To make you forget about the next life. To make you forget about repentance. And to make you forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he does that by making you fall into sin and into indecency, and making you talk and causing you to talk about the faith without knowledge. All of these harm one's relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are people of taqwa, to make us among those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrects on mounts as kings and queens, going back to His mercy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our knowledge, to elevate our faith. Ameen. There are a few announcements. Make dua for Muwaffaq Salim Aylush. He's the uncle of Hussam Aylush, who's the executive director of CARE. And also make dua for Iqbal Qadura, both of which passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them and to have mercy upon them, to make them amongst the people of paradise, and to overlook any shortcomings and any sins. We'll be holding the condolences for Brother Hussam Aylush tonight at 7 p.m. here in OCIF in the multi-purpose room. So please come. He's in one of the pillars of our society here, our community here in Southern California. So do come, pay your respects, and thank him for the great work that he does. Also make dua for Ruba Saeed Nu'man. It doesn't say dua for what, so if she is ill, then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant her a speedy recovery. And if she has passed away, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make her among the people of paradise, and to grant her mercy and forgiveness, to overlook her shortcomings and increase her in good deeds. OCIF is holding its first town hall meeting, inshallah, next Friday, September 14th at 6:30 p.m. Please do come. The point of this is to